In the 1970s, the fashion world was at the cusp of transformation, and at the center of that change was a man who broke boundaries, challenged stereotypes, and left a legacy that still resonates today. Renauld White, a trailblazing black male model, Renauld didn't just walk the runways, he redefined them. He's a name you may not have heard too often in current years until his recent passing, but his impact on fashion, representation, and breaking barriers is unforgettable. Renault's story is one of resilience, self discovery, and a fierce determination to change the industry from the inside out. Though he is not the first black male model or supermodel, his influence is undeniable. So, how did a shy, chubby kid from Newark rise to become a fashion pioneer and an icon of representation? Let's dive into the remarkable life of Renauld White. Renauld White's story begins on February 1st, 1944, in Newark, New Jersey, where he was born to Maybelline Scott White and Robert White Sr. Growing up as the second of four brothers, Maurice, Robert Jr., and Colin, Renauld was a shy, chubby kid who struggled with confidence. This all began to change, however, thanks to a surprising push from his high school football coach, Tom Higgins. In an attempt to get Renauld and his friend Joe onto the field, Coach Higgins made a blunt promise. If you two guys don't show up for football practice, the next 3 years will be held in this high school. With that, Renauld found himself on the team playing right tackle. This boost of confidence led him into another unexpected arena, school plays, revealing a spark for performing that would later fuel his journey into the spotlight. After graduating from Westside High School, Renauld stepped into adult responsibilities, taking a job as a clerk at Western Electric to help support his mother after his parents divorced. He enrolled in business courses at Rutgers University. Though office work didn't exactly light a fire in him, his small acts of rebellion, like growing a beard, hinted at his dissatisfaction with a button down life that didn't suit him, especially in the structured, clean cut culture of the 1960s. Rutgers opened up new possibilities for Renauld as he met Stephen Burrows, a student from the Fashion Institute of Technology, and Jeff Blinn, a white model. Along with a small circle of friends, they became the cool crowd, building their own unique style with thrift store finds and spending their weekends dancing the mambo at the Palladium, a Latin nightclub in Manhattan. Renault had slimmed down by now, but still carried a bit of that shy kid from Newark inside of him. It was during one of these weekends at the Palladium, Stephen and Jeff encouraged him to consider modeling. This was a new idea for Renaud, who grew up, had no clue that men could even model. But he knew style, he loved art. The young Marlon Brando and Malcolm X were his fashion idols, icons of charisma and cool. And in a way, fashion was already in his blood. His mother had been a hat model in the 1950s, and with her striking resemblance to Dorothy Dandruff, showed him how elegance could make an impression. His father, though a truck driver, had his own suave style and a love for suits that made people mistake him for a lawyer. Renaud credited both of his parents with instilling in him a taste for style and a sense of elegance that would guide him as he stepped towards the uncharted world of modeling. On July 31st, 1968, Renaud White took a leap. Encouraged by his friend Jeff, he walked into an open casting at Bill Blass in Manhattan. But Renaud didn't make the cut. Why? He didn't have a modeling agency backing him, a must in the industry. Determined not to let that stop him, Renaud found himself in the phone booth scanning the yellow pages for modeling agencies. One name jumped out: Eileen Ford, the most prestigious agent of her time. He made his way to her office, but even there the odds weren't in his favor. An agent turned him down, saying he was too tall and had a scar on his nose. a relic from a childhood baseball accident. Instead, she suggested Wilhelmina Cooper's newly established agency. Renauld wasn't about to give up. He was looking for more than just a break. He wanted representation and diversity in an industry that rarely opened its doors to Black men. The 1967 Newark race riots were fresh in his memory, a reminder of the challenges faced by Black Americans seeking justice and visibility. So when he walked into Wilhelmina's office, he took a bold approach. He claimed he was with the NAACP and demanded to see how racially diverse the agency really was, even threatening picketing if they didn't meet his expectations. This assertive move got him noticed. Staff pulled him into a private office and he made it clear he just wanted a chance. The agents agreed, but there was a catch. He had to come back with a new look, haircut, toned down clothes, a calmer demeanor, and try again. Renauld returned the next day looking sharp, and his persistence paid off. Wilhelmina Models signed him. Reflecting on this moment in an interview with Sharon Quinn on model behavior, he said, "At first, I thought I was going to get thrown in jail and beaten up because of my approach. But then they realized that they were wrong, that they were behind society and behind the times, and that they had to listen to me." The agency offered him a contract, initially expecting him to fail, but Renauld defied the odds, proving he belonged. With his fresh look, Renauld began booking gigs, and in 1970, he debuted in a Blass show, the very designer who had rejected him just 2 years earlier. By the early 70s, Renauld was defining a new standard of masculine beauty. He grew a suave movie star style mustache, took up karate, which gave him the slim, muscular build that would become the ideal for the decade. But this look wasn't just about appearances. It was also about pushing boundaries. He became the first Black male model to endorse Vitalis Hair Tonic, a product traditionally marketed to white men. And in 1979, he made history as the first Black American model to grace the cover of GQ. He joined the ranks of Sammy Davis Jr. and Ors Althus, the first and second Black men to appear on the magazine. But Renauld's cover marked a breakthrough for Black American models. The 70s and 80s saw Renauld's face on magazines like Essence, Ebony, and Jet. He walked runways and starred in campaigns for designers like Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, Donna Karan, and Jeffrey Banks, as well as his friend Stephen Burrows. By the 1980s, Renauld was at the top of his game, a recognized name booked by nearly every designer worth mentioning. Jeffrey Banks recalls suggesting Renauld shave off his mustache for a Bryce Weber campaign, a tough call for Renauld since the mustache was now his signature. But after some resistance, he did it, and it opened the door to even more opportunities. Renauld's allure even caught the attention of the Queen of Soul herself, Aretha Franklin. He first noticed him in a black tie cologne commercial in the mid-80s, and soon they struck up a close friendship. He became her go-to escort for award shows and gala events for nearly a decade. Renauld once said his life felt like a movie, and meeting Miss Franklin only made it feel more surreal. They shared a deep connection and strong emotional bond, though Renauld, a private man, kept the details of their relationship under wraps. Renauld's journey from an open casting to sharing the stage with the greatest names in fashion and beyond is a testament to his resilience and vision. He broke down doors, redefined masculinity, and set a path for others to follow. In the later stages of his career, Renauld White began to explore acting. adding even more layers to his already impressive resume. He landed roles on popular TV shows like One Life to Live, General Hospital, Inside Job, Guiding Light, and The Stepford Wives. He has a single credited movie role as a Baptist minister in Gun Hill alongside Lorenz Tate. Beyond TV, Renault's love for storytelling drew him to the theater, where he took part in a number of off Broadway productions, including classics like Anthony and Cleopatra, Twelfth Night, Medea, and Abattoir. The New York theater became another stage for him to shine, channeling his passion and discipline into each performance. Even as he moved away from the runway, Renault remained in high demand. Just a year before his passing, renowned photographer Steven Meisel requested Renault for a Dolce & Gabbana ad. This role came as a testament to his lasting influence and timeless appeal. Throughout his life, Renault held himself to high standards, seeing himself as a representative for his race and a guardian against stereotypes. In 1978, he appeared on The Phil Donahue Show, taking a stand to dismantle the cute but dumb model stereotype. He made it clear that models could be intelligent, self-aware, and socially conscious, challenging the industry's assumptions about his profession. While his peak modeling years may have spanned about a decade, Renault's spirits never faded. He continued to mentor young models, teaching them the value of persistence, professionalism, and financial literacy, teaching them to not blow the money they earned during their peak modeling years. He was a role model in every sense, committed to his health and fitness until the very end. To those who knew him, he was more than a model. He was a trailblazer who transcended labels and lived life with purpose, courage, and enduring style. Renauld White's journey ended on June 26, 2024, but his impact on fashion and culture remains timeless. He leaves behind a legacy of resilience, elegance, and unwavering dedication to breaking down barriers. Survived by his brother Colin, close family members, friends, caretakers, and a beloved godchild. Renault may not have had any children of his own, but he left a powerful legacy for generations to come. He was more than a model. He was a pioneer who challenged stereotypes, redefined standards of beauty, and proved that grace and courage could go hand in hand. Through his work, his advocacy, and his mentorship, Renault shaped an industry and left a lasting impression on everyone who knew him. Thank you for watching this video. Drop a comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to B-Centric TV to keep the conversation going and see more content.